Filmed from the center of America in New York City is Totally Unhinged. Now, your host, James Blinken.
Thank you, Jeremy, and hello, everybody. It's October 28th, 2025, and you're watching episode 1 of Totally Unhinged. Yes, this is my attempt at a late-night monologue show that stays up to date on what's trending, what's popular, and what's not. No, this is not a show like Jackass where I attempt unhinged shit, like skydiving into a sea of sharks, and although that would be unhinged, I'm more of a metaphorical type of guy. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if skydiving into a sea of sharks is a stunt in Jackass 5. One of us died in this one. Anyways, let's get started with the news. After we look at my late night set, I got a table, I got a screen, a background with stars and stuff. What else do I need other than an actual budget? Okay, for real, let's get into this week's headlines. I don't know what to talk about first. A group called the Young Republicans are trying to prove they are not Nazis and racists, while trying to explain why they are 40 years old in a group called Young Republicans. Can we keep midlife crises out of politics at least? We already have 2 people who ran the U.S. who are older than the U.S. life expectancy. Why do we need more age-related issues in politics right now? Like, come on, let's just... Age crises aside, these young Republicans are shitheads. But shitheads are in charge of America, so it's a real problem. But at least Trump doesn't agree with these young Republicans and have people who say bad shit like that, right? Right? And no, there's Paul Ingrassia. Pictured here having an orgasm while watching an ice raid, withdrew his name to lead the Office of Special Counsel because he has a Nazi streak. Is that when you break into a full restaurant and start hailing Hitler? I don't know, 2025. AI probably did it. Or Tom. Don't trust Tom. He doesn't wear underwear. Ever. But no, this Paul Ingrassia fellow was bad. Like Holocaust denier, MLK Jr. and Kwanzaa hater, and even racist towards his own party members. I'm not going to say what he said about rejected Shark Tank investor Vivek Ramaswamy, but let me just say it was really fucking racist. So yeah, even Trump had to be like, okay, now 2 racists, next racist, please. On to the less racist news. The federal government is still shut down, with no end in sight. It's like when you hate cruises, but your wife plans one with the kids and makes you go, and then you see the land disappearing from the background of view. Then there's nothing surrounding you except water for days and days end, and then it feels like forever, because now your whole family has the stomach bug except you. This is like how the government shutdown feels. And if it continues into November, food aid to over 40 million Americans could just disappear. So let's be fair Americans about this. Who the hell do we blame? Well, we can blame the Democrats if you think about it, because they're the ones holding the government hostage, right? Or the Republicans who want to cut anything and everything that Trump and his goons want, or just Trump for meddling in everything and literally stabbing our country metaphorically, physically, and mentally. Like, oh my God, if the USA was a person, they would be on life support and about to die. Damn, buddy, you had a rough 10 months. Okay, obviously, you blame the party in power, all 3 branches of government, which are the Trumpublicans. And yes, that's what I'm going to call them. There has to be a difference between Trumpies and Republicans. So I made the term Trumpublicans official, because not all Republicans are bad. I want to remind you that Massachusetts was the first state to have universal health care, and that was passed by Republican Mitt Romney, the guy who probably goes to bars and orders a glass of milk. That guy. So, like, I don't want to compare these people because they are apples and oranges. Hence, Trumpublicans. Moving on. Trumpublicans and Emperor Trump himself are keeping the government closed because they do not give 2 shits about the vulnerable people in this country. The Democrats are trying to fight for something, and believe me, I'm not going to try defending Democrats or say they are fighting Trump well. Chuck Schumer, for example, does not fight. He talks and then goes play golf or something. I don't know, but he's more of the face of a Schmucker's jelly bottle than the Democratic resistance. What I'm trying to say is, Democrats can be doing a whole lot better. How? I don't know. Do I look like I have answers? Sometimes yes. Here? Hell no. So let's talk about Trump the Builder, the off-brand porno version of Bob the Builder. And remember, if it exists, there's porn of it. Not sorry, but Trump is building a ballroom for, I don't know, a place to carry out public executions? Like, it's not for him and his phonies to dance. He does like to jerk off imaginary dicks, but that is not dancing. So he said he would not destroy any part of the White House. And listen, that should have been the first warning, but of course he lied and destroyed the whole East Wing. Well, it is the place where the office of the First Lady is, and she's never home or is hiding under some alien device that's supposed to look like a hat. And let's be truthful, other presidents build stuff in the White House, like Truman building the bowling alley and FDR building a movie theater. Both things I find cool and great. But this is like a huge expansion. The East Wing was 12,000 feet. This is 90,000 feet. Trump really must have a small dick if he has to compensate with a part of the White House. Man, it just makes you look like a bigger dick. Just shave the bushes around the White House and it will look bigger. Look, it's not. Actually, what makes this ballroom fully make sense is that it's actually being made to honor the spirit of his dead friend, Jeffrey Epstein, and have the ballroom be Trump's version of Epstein's Island. Yeah, that sounds right. Watch out for those under 18 hiring ads in DC. Ugh. Okay, last thing. The White House has a timeline on its website about construction events at the White House. At first, it looks pretty normal, like the addition of the Rose Garden, the construction of the East Wing, both destroyed by Trump, but it's typical historical segments until you reach Bill Clinton, which mentions the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Also, they posted a meeting Obama had with the Muslim Brotherhood and the cocaine shit with the Biden administration. Those are not construction projects. Well, maybe sexually speaking. But the point is, this is a dumb jab by Trump. If you're going to make fun of the most recent Democrat presidents, at least do it with some Republican ones too. Like, you know Trump doesn't like any of them deep down. Say Nixon resigned as a disgrace and a pussy in 1974. You should add that if you were president, you would never do that. And also say George Bush shit the bed without being specific. And say it was both of them, matter of fact. Just make the timeline more consistent before 1999. Anyway, it's time for today's sponsor. Jeremy?
Today's sponsor of Totally Unhinged is non-GMO, vegan-free, harm-free, gluten-free, certified organic, never processed, from all around Central America with no antibiotics ever. Avocado toast by Meta Inc. Technology is nature.
Thank you, Jeremy, and thank you to our special sponsors. We don't get it either. Anyway, this is the second half of the show. Hope you like me yabbering about some crazy shit in our country, but let's take this time to talk about some pop culture. Specifically, HBO Max's series Peacemaker. I have some thoughts I need to say. Some spoilers ahead. Anyway, I love Peacemaker. It's funny, it's so well written, and I'm not trying to compare it with, like, Succession with those real down-to-earth characters, but, like, for a superhero show, it's a dramedy with a heart. And it's pretty grounded. I love the music. I love the opening credits. It's pure chaos. And you can tell it's like James Gunn's favorite project. You just can. Man loves his music. Season 2 is all about character development. And I love having stories centered around character development rather than the other way around. That's why I love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 so much. I know some people had issues with it being more character-centric, as the story felt slower and less things were happening. But honestly, that was an issue to me, as there were good jokes and the characters were developing. I'm fine and dandy about it. Now, the finale is more DCU setup, with episode 7 of season 2, the penultimate episode, feeling more like a finale. But although most of the internet was disappointed by the finale, and me at first, I have to say I came around on it. First of all the characters went through their journeys. They are in different places than they were at the start of the season. A la Checkmate. Literally, they work at Checkmate. Chris and Harcourt are a thing, and even Eagly and Economos finally have a connection. So cute. And the themes of doing what's right, questioning what they do and who they are, especially for the characters who work at Argus. It's so good, come on. Second, I think people were disappointed because James Gunn teased a big guest in the finale, and it happened to be Foxy Shazam, the band who made the intro song. I know people are annoyed with Gunn with that. Honestly, I think it was funny, and I would do the same. Third, the finale sets up the future of the DCU. I think right now it's annoying because we don't know what's going to happen to these characters, but I have faith in James Gunn that we will see them soon. He said it. And remember, he is the head of DCU. No offense to Kevin Feige at Marvel, but he doesn't direct. Just saying. In Gunn, we trust. Unless Warner Bros. Is bought out by Paramount or some crazy MAGA hack, and then everything is fucked again. But positivity! Honestly, the worst thing I could say about the finale is it felt more like an epilogue, but honestly, I felt like it fit the vibe of Season 2 well. Could there have been more action? Could Peacemaker have been in his suit more? Could he used his helmets more? Could he have killed someone with a wooden soup ladle? Yes, but I like what we got, and I'm excited for what comes next, especially with Chris on Salvation. I really hope we find out soon. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Peacemaker Season 2 finale. I really do like it, and hopefully as time goes on, others can too. Now, we could talk more about the news today. The New York City elections next week, but not everybody watches is from New York, so all I will say is it's an election and somebody will surely win. And I bet Trump did something else stupid today, like punishing a country with tariffs over a commercial or something. Wait, he fucking did that? And it was something Ronald Reagan said? Well, I guess Trump called Reagan furiously and yelled at him, but Reagan could not respond because he's fucking dead. Whatever, there's always a lot of shit. But that is enough for today's episode, our first episode of Totally Unhinged. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back with episode 2 in 2 weeks. I've been James Blinken. See you then.
This has been Totally Unhinged. I've been Jeremy Webb Jr. Have a great day, and even better tomorrow. Peace out.